Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at issue 487 of the White Dwarf magazine. You'll get a good look at all the contents of the magazine, and hopefully this will help you to decide whether or not this is one that you'd like to add to your collection. Some really nice artwork again. They do a great job on these artwork covers, and this is the issue you would get if you sign up for the subscription, and it's going to be the same content, so everything you can see on the back here, it's just the cover is a little bit different. So we're going to get loads of cool stuff for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, and some of the skirmish games as well. And as always, there'll be a few pullouts that you can add to your game, some cards, and some things for boarding actions again this week. Big focus on boarding actions lately. So here we go then, we've got the subscription details there on the left as soon as you open it. Great way to save some money if you're going to get it every month. But if you're just buying one issue here and there, you're better off just getting it at your local news agents. Then it's got the contact section where people send in their photos of models they've painted, and it's a really good source of inspiration, and maybe get some ideas like this one here, really cool, these Tyranids. Maybe try a different style you've never done before. This is by Javier Del Rio, who's done a fantastic job with a really nice style, very unique. Then we're on to A Tale of Four Warlords. This is a challenge that the team at Games Workshop take part in. We're on to challenge number 2 now. Another great source to see how to paint models. There's some Troggoths. I've actually got one right next to me that I used for a video earlier, and here he is. So yeah, really cool. You just get to see ideas that you wouldn't normally consider yourself, and great to come away from the box art a little bit. Try something different. This looks really awesome. The Terrorgeist there, completely different way to build one. And then we've got some more units. So really nice. Some people going with the box art, like with the squigs. But as you can see with the others, being a bit more creative and trying something different. Nice to see some red dragons there for the Storm Drake Guards too. I think they look nice like that. And now we're on to the Eternal War for the conquest of the Mortal Realms. Sticking with the Age of Sigmar, we're on to Rules of Engagement, which is going to focus on creating an exciting and evocative battlefield. This is really interesting. I like the idea of this article, and I'll spend a bit more time reading through this later for sure, but this is really cool. It's going to go into how to set up the battle, placing your objectives and terrain. This is a really good read. The idea of that article is to get you thinking about setting up the battlefield differently. Very interesting, and yeah, that's a good section and a good article. Then we're on to The Hunger of Lendu, Flashpoint Rondol, and this is going to be part of a series of articles that explore particular regions or war zones. And in this time, we're focusing on Rondol, and we're going to get some pullouts there that we can use in our campaign. That's the Great Stomp, so some nice cards there, some check boxes, so really cool. And we're on to part 5 of the Great Stomp, so if you've been picking up the White Dwarf magazines and going through the collection recently, you'll know how this progresses. But it tells you how to join the campaign, earning achievements, territory cards, you've got tables to roll on, and then we're going to move on and have a close-up look at some modelling and painting inspiration for the Orruk War Clans. This is perfect at the moment. I've got to get my Iron Jaws painted and finished real soon, and I've got them all built now, which is really cool. Especially this guy looks brilliant. This model's fantastic, the Mega Boss on Maw Crusher. But really nice to see all the close-up images, different ways to paint them, the terrain that you could build to field them in. That's really fun. This is an excellent article. I really like it when they focus on one faction and really go to town on the paint guides and the imagery. I think they've done a great job there. Now we're on to Warcry, Into the Gnarlwood, Stealth and Stone. We're going to look at 2 brand new warbands who make their presence felt in the Gnarlwood, the Jade Obelisk and the Hunters of Huanchi. I think the best way to play Warcry is when you do it as part of a campaign. Of course, it's fun to play the odd game, but when you do the campaign, you can really get to know your warband and make use of like information like this, like particular quests designed around each of them, tables to roll on. So a lot more fun, but this is quite comprehensive actually. It's got everything in there for your background tables and everything. So really nicely done. If you've just picked up the individual warbands and not the box set, I think you'll really like this. And we're on to Warhammer 40,000 now, with the Arcs of Omen, Herald of Misery. This is Flashpoint, Herald of Misery. So you've got a bit of reading there for some background and lore. Then we've got the Invasion of Loom 4. Bit more reading to do there, before we move on to the defense grid. So now we're going to get more ways to play the boarding actions, and they're going to be focusing on barriers now. So we've got these energy fields that are going to cross the battlefield and maybe prevent your models moving. It's going to go on and off, that kind of thing. So that's a fun mechanic to add to the game. I think that's going to be really cool. If you're into playing the boarding actions, you might like this, and you get the cards to cut out and use on the table as well. And it gives you some new rules for how to play this. And then you're going to get a lot of missions, and the missions, just as you would expect from any books that you'd buy. It's got all the different mission rules, briefing, objectives, and then a very comprehensive map for each one. And they've been doing a really good job of these over the past few months with White Dwarf, packing them with missions and information. And so if you like this way to play, I would definitely recommend getting hold of the White Dwarf magazines for this alone, because the content in here is really good. You get more stratagems that you can layer up and add to your game. You get really detailed photos and little battle reports and things as well. So that's that section. Now we're going to have an introduction to Angron, the Demon Prince of the World Eaters. Very interesting to see they've put a data sheet in. Haven't seen that before, I don't think. So that's cool. You can have a really good look at what he can do, and then a little bit of reading so you can learn all about him, some key events. And so that's a nice section. Then a really good painting section on how to paint Angron. And this is going to break down all the steps, all the paints. So they've been doing a good job with these lately. I like the Auric one a lot, and this is another good one that really gives you a good idea of exactly what paints to use. Now we're on to Iron Within, the battle report for Warhammer 40,000. We get an introduction to the two armies, breaking down the units and points, and then it's going to take you through every step of that battle, looking at the layout, the deployment, and then each of the rounds. These are fantastic ways to get an idea of how the game works, maybe pick up some tactics, especially if it's one of your armies that you like to see featured. That's really cool when that happens. Then you can see exactly how they do it and get some nice tips. But really good. Photography's bang on. I love seeing these battlefields, and nice to see how they're tackling different layouts with the different levels as well. That's really fun. Often we'll play just on a flat table. You might play on a fat table, I don't know. But anyway, really good to see the different levels and how you can incorporate that. Then we've got a Horus Heresy section with some missions to play there. That's really good, so you can add those to the collection. Bit of reading to do for Durkar's Wake by Chris Thurston. And then that's going to get us pretty much to the end of the magazine then. But really nice issue. Again, heavy on boarding actions. If that's your thing, then I think you'll really enjoy it. But a nice section on Age of Sigmar 2. Here's some nice images of different battlefields. Again, with the platforms and levels, really nice. Great to see that awesome Rogue of Dawn tank there, and some other models that have been painted up. And then next issue, we've got Herald of Misery Grand Finale. And that takes us to the end of this overview of the White Dwarf magazine, issue 487. I think they've been really good how they've been doing the magazines lately. Since it changed, what, maybe 6-7 months ago, they changed the format. And I think it's a really good change. I think they've definitely improved the layout of it, the flow of the magazine, and the articles have got a lot more in depth. So I'm really happy with how they've been lately. Can definitely recommend getting it. And again, if you wanted to get it every month, it really does pay to go and subscribe to it, because you end up paying £4.99 or £5 a month instead of £6.99. That includes free delivery as well, and you can pay annually, or I pay every quarter. So every 3 months I'll pay £15 and it's delivered to my door. So I think that's a brilliant way to do it, because I definitely want to get it every time. Obviously I'm not on any commission. I just think if you're going to get it every month, why not save yourself £2 and the trouble of going out to buy it. But there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep going with these regular videos. I couldn't do this without you, and I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to join the Patreon community, support the channel, get some great perks at the same time, there's a link down below in the description. It'll be awesome to see you there.